There's something quite strange. The older many Americans get, the more diligently they snack. Sometimes it's just a few mints, a handful of crackers, or a couple of small chocolate bars to tide them over between meals. Not a lot, not often, and seemingly nothing to worry about. But oddly enough, with each passing year, knees feel heavier, ankles ache more subtly, and standing up from a chair isn't as easy as it once was. Is it just a matter of age, or are these seemingly harmless treats secretly fueling inflammation in the joints day after day? Knees, ankles, or wrists don't speak. They don't immediately cry out in pain, but every food choice, even just a snack, leaves its mark. And the irony is, a lot of people are killing their own joints with snacks without even knowing it. However, if you reverse this habit, snacks can actually become silent medicine for your joints. No need for expensive pills, no need for extreme diets. Just one small change: choose the right nuts. Because after age 50, every time you chew a handful of nuts correctly, you're not just getting energy, you're sending valuable ingredients to your cartilage, joint fluid, and even the muscles around your legs. Every good fat, every trace mineral, every plant compound has the ability to soothe inflammation, nourish cartilage, and even improve muscle pulling power. Factors that determine whether you'll still walk steadily when you're over 70. And in this video, you'll discover 6 types of nuts, small but powerful, that have been scientifically proven to reduce inflammation, supplement joints, and support bones, muscles, cartilage safely and naturally. Each type of nut will be clearly analyzed. What mechanism helps them soothe joints? What research evidence confirms their benefits? How should you eat them to be effective without over-consuming calories? Stay until the end of the video to learn how to rotate your snacks throughout the week, helping your legs feel lighter, more flexible, and less stiff every morning when you wake up. Let's start today with the first nut on our journey to protect leg joints after age 50. Number 1, walnuts. Perhaps you've heard of this nut before. It's shaped like a miniature brain, has a rich, buttery taste, and often appears in baked goods. But behind that humble appearance is a true nutritional bank, especially for people entering middle age who realize that every time they stand up from a chair now isn't as easy as it used to be. The question for you is, have you ever tried eating walnuts every day? If the answer is no, then this could be a small but very significant opportunity for your legs, because walnuts are one of the rare plant sources of omega-3 ALA, a fat with the ability to soothe inflammation in joints and synovial membranes. Just a small handful, about 7 to 8 walnuts, equivalent to 28 grams, will provide your body with approximately 2.6 grams of ALA. Once in the body, ALA is partially converted into EPA and DHA, which help inhibit the NF-κB inflammatory pathway, a crucial biological mechanism that causes inflammatory reactions in joints. Sounds academic? Imagine it this way. Inflamed joints are like a persistent red swelling, and omega-3 is the cool cloth placed on them, not healing immediately, but quietly soothing day by day. And this has been scientifically proven. A study published in Science Direct in 2024 followed people over 60 who ate 30 grams of walnuts daily for 24 months. The results not only showed a significant reduction in inflammatory markers like CRP and IL-6, but also improved the strength of limb muscles, helping the calves bear weight better when walking or climbing stairs. Do you still remember the last time you had to hold on to the handrail when going downstairs? Those signs aren't necessarily due to muscle weakness, but sometimes due to subtle, prolonged joint inflammation, which reduces the coordination between muscles and joints. So just a handful of walnuts every day, not a lot, not complicated, could be a smart solution. The Arthritis Foundation, a leading reputable organization in the field of arthritis in the US, has ranked walnuts as the best anti-inflammatory nut for joints, not only due to omega-3, but also due to polyphenols, antioxidants that help protect cartilage from degeneration and reduce damage from free radicals. So how should you use walnuts? Very simply, one small handful, 7-8 nuts per day. You can eat them alone as an afternoon snack, or sprinkle them on oatmeal, salads, or even lightly blend them with ripe bananas to make a natural ice cream without added sugar. But you also need to be careful. Walnuts are energy dense, about 185 kilocalories per 28 grams. If you're managing your weight to reduce pressure on your knee and ankle joints, remember to adjust the amount of cooking oil or butter in your main meals throughout the day, because no matter how good they are, if you consume too much and gain weight, you'll still be adding burden to your legs. Additionally, some people may be allergic to tree nuts. Although not as common as peanuts, it's still something to watch out for. If you experience itchy lips, a dry or scratchy throat, or bloating after eating, stop and consult a professional. And a small tip: store walnuts in the refrigerator or an airtight container away from light, because omega-3 oils are prone to spoilage if left exposed to air for too long. Now ask yourself, what are you eating every afternoon? A bag of salty snacks, a piece of cake, or a handful of joint-soothing nuts like walnuts? Sometimes just changing one snack every day is enough for your body to thank you after a few weeks. Imagine waking up in the morning, stepping out of bed without stiff ankle joints, no more creaking like an old door. Each step feels lighter just because you chose the right snack. And if you want to add a nut that's lighter on the stomach, rich in vitamin E, and also protects cartilage tissue and synovial membranes, then don't overlook the next candidate: almonds. After getting a soft cushion from walnuts to soothe internal joint inflammation, now it's time to add another layer of protection, like armor surrounding the joint cartilage, helping it not wear down over the years. Number 2, almonds. Not as noisy or as rich as many other nuts, almonds offer strength from their resilience and stability. And specifically, they are one of the richest natural sources of vitamin E, yet they are very easy to digest and friendly to older adults. So why is vitamin E so important for joints? Imagine your joints as a lubricated machine part. Joint fluid, the synovial membrane, is the lubricating oil that helps the ends of your bones glide smoothly against each other, without friction, without pain. But if there are many free radicals around the joint membrane, damaged molecules produced by stress, oxidation, or prolonged inflammation, then the joint membrane will quickly be damaged, losing its elasticity. And that's where vitamin E from almonds comes in. With just 28 grams of almonds, about 23 small nuts, your body receives approximately 7 milligrams of vitamin E, which is nearly 50% of your daily requirement. Vitamin E acts as a biological scavenger, neutralizing free radicals, protecting the cell membranes of cartilage tissue, and maintaining the integrity of the synovial membrane. The result? Less inflammation, less joint stiffness, and smoother joint fluid function. But that's not all. Almonds also contain polyphenol catechins, another natural antioxidant, often known in green tea, also capable of inhibiting inflammation and reducing tissue damage. So what about the practical effect? A meta-analysis of 18 randomized controlled trials, RCTs, involving over 847 people aged 26 to 70, published on PMC, showed that when participants ate 30 to 60 grams of almonds daily for 4 weeks or more, the results were statistically significant reductions in inflammatory markers like CRP and IL-6. In other words, with consistent consumption, almonds can help the body fight silent inflammation, the main factor that wears down knee and ankle joints day by day. And the interesting thing is, many people don't realize they have mild joint inflammation until they go up the stairs and feel a clunk. That's a sign that joint cartilage is gradually wearing down, which you might have been able to slow down just by eating a few almonds every day. So how should you eat them correctly? 23 almonds per day, meaning about 28 to 30 grams, is the ideal recommended amount. You can eat them alone in the mid-afternoon, after lunch, or combine them with low-sugar yogurt and a few slices of fruit. A small tip for those with sensitive stomachs: you can soak almonds in hot water for about 5 minutes to easily peel them, which helps reduce tannins, a substance that can cause mild digestive discomfort in some people. However, like any nut, almonds can cause allergies in some individuals, especially with symptoms like itchy lips, a burning throat, or hives after eating. If you haven't eaten almonds before, try a very small amount first and then monitor your body's reaction. One more thing to note is, although rich in good fats, almonds still contain relatively high energy, about 160 kcal per 28 grams. Therefore, if you need to control your weight to reduce pressure on your joints, you should use almonds as a substitute for other starchy or sugary snacks, rather than simply adding them indiscriminately to your diet. Now try to think, is your afternoon snack nourishing your joints, or is it subtly damaging them? Just changing one small habit, like swapping crackers for almonds, you're truly making a difference. A quiet difference, but a clear one, because every flexible leg joint after age 60 starts from small accumulations every day. And if you're someone who likes a crunchy, fun-to-eat snack that you can savor slowly and is good for blood pressure and joint circulation, then the next nut is the ideal choice. This nut is likened to a patience exercise for your hands, but it's very gentle on your leg joints: pistachios. After adding vitamin E from almonds to protect joint membranes, we continue with a nut that takes a very different approach. It not only helps reduce inflammation, but also helps increase blood flow to the joints, regulate joint fluid, and even blood pressure, foundational factors for keeping your legs flexible. Number 3, pistachios. Have you ever opened a bag of pistachios and found yourself eating them for a very long time? Not because they aren't delicious, but because they force you to shell each nut slowly, patiently. That's what makes this nut special, not just for your hands, but for your joints that need rest and care from within. Let's discover why pistachios are on the list of 6 essential nuts for joint nourishment after age 50. The first point that makes pistachios highly valued by arthritis experts is their content of lutein and tocopherol, 2 very powerful antioxidant compounds that can reduce oxidative stress around joint cartilage, while also supporting the function of blood vessels that nourish the joints. In other words, pistachios not only soothe inflammation like walnuts or protect joint membranes like almonds, they also help blood flow better to joint tissues, delivering oxygen and nutrients to areas that are swollen, regenerating, or wearing down due to age. Additionally, this nut is also very rich in arginine, an amino acid that plays a role in widening blood vessels, helping blood flow smoother and more evenly, especially in distant areas like the feet and ankles, where blood supply is often poor in older adults, especially when they are less active. Have you ever experienced a tingling sensation in your knees, like ants crawling, or cold feet even when the weather isn't very cold? Those could be signs of poor circulation to the lower limbs, and pistachios, thanks to their vasodilating nutrients, can help improve this condition. And that's not all. Pistachios also contain a very high potassium content, even higher than bananas. Potassium helps regulate fluid pressure in the joints, limiting joint swelling or joint distension after a lot of walking. It's like balancing water in a piping system so joints don't get clogged due to too much inflammatory fluid accumulation. So what does science say? An 8-week study on overweight older adults, a group with a high risk of arthritis and poor circulation, showed that when they ate 56 grams of pistachios daily, CRP decreased by an average of 12%. And even more remarkably, arterial elasticity significantly improved, meaning blood vessels functioned more effectively in nourishing tissues. This is extremely important for people aged 60 and above, because joints cannot heal themselves without blood bringing nutrients, and pistachios, with their combination of active compounds beneficial for endothelium, are the gentle postman that helps this process happen more smoothly. One more bonus. The Arthritis Foundation encourages older adults to eat pistachios for a very practical reason. This nut is eaten slowly, you have to shell it, so it's difficult to eat too much at once. This is especially good for those who need to both reduce inflammation and manage weight to lessen pressure on their joints. So how do you eat pistachios correctly? The recommended safe and effective amount is about 40-50 grams per day, equivalent to 2 small handfuls or a small bowl. However, prioritize unsalted pistachios. Because excess salt can cause high blood pressure and water retention, making your legs prone to swelling and making joints feel heavier, especially by the end of the day. A small tip, you can mix pistachios into plain Greek yogurt or eat them with a few apple slices in the afternoon. This provides good fats while balancing with fiber and vitamin C from fruit. But a few small caveats are also needed. If you are taking diuretics or have kidney problems, be cautious when eating pistachios due to their high potassium content. You should keep consumption below 50 grams per day, and if you have concerns, ask your doctor before adding pistachios to your daily diet. Additionally, choose nuts that still have their thin skins on and are unseasoned. The natural flavor will be more pleasant, and you'll also reduce the risk of consuming extra sodium or additives. Once again, try to think about the snacks you usually eat: French fries, salty crackers, hard candies, or a fun and patient exercise snack like pistachios that subtly helps dilate blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and energize your legs every day. Just by changing one choice after a few weeks, you might feel a difference: less numbness, steadier steps, and less tension in your legs at night. And if you're looking for a nut that's light on the stomach, mild in flavor, less likely to cause bloating, and rich in special antioxidants called anthocyanins, the next option will be an excellent choice: a subtly sweet nut that won't make you feel heavy and plays an equally important role, protecting cartilage structure from early degeneration. Number 4. Pecans. If you've ever tried pecan pie during Thanksgiving, you've surely experienced the rich, buttery taste and pleasant aroma this nut offers. But what's even more valuable is that each pecan contains a complex of incredibly powerful antioxidants, which can be likened to an anti-rust coating for your joint cartilage, an area very susceptible to wear and tear over time. The first prominent feature of pecans is their high content of anthocyanins and ellagic acid, two plant compounds scientifically proven to inhibit the elastase enzyme. This enzyme is often overactive in chronic inflammation, causing the breakdown of elastic tissue around joints, leading to faster degeneration. If you imagine joint cartilage as soft rubber cushions between two bone ends, then elastase is like an eroding acid that gradually dissolves that cushion over time. And pecans are what helps stop that erosion process. A human digestive system simulation study published in Science Direct showed that pecan extract can inhibit elastase activity by up to 50%, an astonishing figure for a natural food. Not only that, pecans also help reduce lipid peroxidation, meaning they reduce the destruction of cell membranes by free radicals, a factor commonly seen in arthritis and aging. Have you ever felt your joints feel stiff, not as flexible or smooth as before? That's a sign of cartilage starting to wear down and lose elasticity. At that point, your body needs assistance from natural anti-rust agents, and pecans are a gentle but effective choice. Additionally, a 2023 study at Duke University tested supplementing 30 grams of pecans daily into the Mediterranean diet of middle-aged pre-diabetic individuals. After 12 weeks, the IL-1B index, an inflammatory marker related to joints, decreased by almost 9% compared to the group that didn't eat pecans. This is clear evidence that pecans not only prevent wear, but also soothe existing inflammation. So how much is enough? The most reasonable answer is 1 tablespoon of chopped pecans daily. You can sprinkle them on oatmeal, mix them into vegetable salads, or use them in light desserts like unsweetened yogurt and fruit. Pecans have a rich flavor but aren't too heavy, are very easy to digest, and cause less bloating, making them suitable for older adults with sensitive digestive systems. However, like many other nuts, pecans are energy dense, about 200 kilocalories per 28 grams. If you're trying to lose weight to reduce pressure on your knee and ankle joints, you should factor the amount of pecans into your total daily calorie intake and reduce cooking oil, butter, or fried foods in other meals. Another special benefit of pecans is that they are less likely to cause allergies compared to almonds or cashews. However, if you have a history of allergies to tree nuts, you should still try a small amount first and monitor your body. You might ask, should I choose pecans or almonds? The answer is, both are good, but they protect joints differently. Almonds help with antioxidant protection in the joint membrane, while pecans focus on slowing down the structural deterioration of cartilage. If your knee joints are still bearing your body weight every day, still taking you from the car to the house, from the house to the garden, then each small spoonful of pecans is a silent anti-rust coating, helping your joint cushions not crumble. And if you're looking for a nut richer in minerals, geared towards rebuilding connective tissue, synthesizing collagen, regulating vitamin D, and improving subchondral bone density, then the next candidate will surely surprise you. A nut likened to a magnesium bank for bones and joints. Number 5. Cashews. You might already be familiar with the mildly sweet, creamy taste of roasted cashews. Easy to eat, with no hard shell, and not as overwhelming as some other nuts. That's why cashews are often chosen more often for daily snacks. However, what few people know is cashews are one of the richest natural sources of magnesium in the edible plant world. So what does magnesium have to do with joints? Imagine the bone directly beneath the joint cartilage, like a cement foundation supporting the soft cushion above. If that foundation is hollow, thin, or loses minerals, then even if the cartilage is good, the joint can still be painful under pressure. And magnesium is an indispensable element for maintaining mineral density in the subchondral bone. In every 28 grams of cashews, you can get about 80 milligallons of magnesium, nearly 20% of your daily requirement. This is an ideal amount to contribute to bone mineralization, regulate the activity of bone-forming and bone-resorbing cells, and most importantly, keep vitamin D and parathyroid hormone, PTH, functioning correctly. Why is this important? Because if magnesium is deficient, the body cannot effectively use vitamin D, and PTH will be disrupted, leading to reduced calcium absorption, decreased bone regeneration, and a tendency to cause subtle joint pain along with osteoporosis. That's also why many older adults experience bone and joint pain despite supplementing with enough calcium, because magnesium is the missing link. A small study in Iran in 2022 followed a group of postmenopausal women, a demographic prone to rapid bone loss. They were asked to eat 40 grams of cashews daily for 12 weeks without changing their other diet. The result? Bone mineral density in the tibia, the lower leg bone, increased by 1.5%, a significant improvement in just 3 months, with a very easily accessible and usable food. Additionally, cashews also contain zinc, copper, and a small amount of iron, minerals that help form collagen, a structural component of tendons, ligaments, and connective tissue around joints. For those recovering from injury, mild arthritis, or experiencing pain in the muscle-tendon-bone junction during activity, cashews are a natural helper that can effectively aid tissue recovery. The question is, how many should you eat per day? The answer is about 10 to 15 cashews, equivalent to 30-35 grams. This amount is sufficient to provide magnesium, good fats, and micronutrients to support joints without leading to excess energy. You can eat them alone in the afternoon, or blend them into cashew butter to spread on whole wheat toast, or mix them into your morning oatmeal. The natural sweetness of cashews also makes them an ideal substitute for sugary processed snacks. However, like all nuts, cashews also come with some considerations. First is energy content, about 170 kcal per 28 grams. If you are trying to lose weight to lighten the load on your joints, balance it by reducing the amount of cooking oil, butter, or sauces in your main meals rather than cutting out cashews, because the benefits this nut provides are very valuable. Second, although less common than peanuts or almonds, allergy to cashews can still occur, especially in those who have had reactions to other tree nuts. If you've never eaten cashews before, start with a small amount and monitor your body's reaction. And if you are taking diuretics or have chronic kidney disease, you should discuss your magnesium intake with your doctor, because excess magnesium can cause mild digestive upset, although this is quite rare when consumed at food levels. Now try to think, how long has it been since you paid attention to magnesium in your diet? You might be taking vitamin D regularly, but if it's not accompanied by magnesium, the absorption and metabolism efficiency will not be complete. Cashews, humble yet nutrient-rich, are like a silent foundation stone for your entire knee joint, ankle joint, and the surrounding tendons and muscles. And if you're looking for a small but mighty nut, needing only 1 to 2 nuts per day, but able to help reduce inflammation, speed up recovery, and improve the flexibility of your gait, then the last nut on today's list will surely pique your curiosity. Brazil nut, a rare natural source of selenium. It has a large, firm, lozenge shape with a rich, buttery taste similar to cashews but bolder and oilier. But what makes the Brazil nut special isn't its shape or taste. It's the amount of selenium, an incredibly powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant trace mineral that it carries. A medium-sized Brazil nut, about 5 to 6 grams, contains 50 to 90 micrograms of selenium, almost reaching the recommended daily allowance of 55 UG day for adults. This means just 1 to 2 nuts per day are enough to provide your body with this essential micronutrient. And according to many studies, selenium is the overlooked link in protecting cartilage, reducing inflammation, and restoring joint function in older adults. But what makes selenium so important? First, selenium is a component of the enzymes glutathione peroxidase, GPX, and thioredoxin reductase, two special antioxidant warriors capable of neutralizing free radicals generated around joint cartilage and synovial membranes. These are areas frequently attacked during prolonged inflammation or when cartilage begins to age. When the body has enough selenium, these enzymes work more effectively, helping to reduce IL-6, TNF-A, two strong inflammatory agents in joints, while also increasing the ability to protect cartilage cells from degeneration. Simply put, selenium is like a stealth armor for the cells in your joints. It doesn't prevent all attacks, but it's enough to mitigate the consequences. And the remarkable thing is, just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts per day can achieve this effect. A 12-week randomized controlled trial, RCT, published on PubMed, followed a group of older adults with selenium deficiency. Each day they ate 2 Brazil nuts, taking no other supplements. The results: CRP, inflammatory marker, decreased by 15%. Glutathione peroxidase significantly increased. Walking speed in a 6-meter test improved by 8%. This means not only did inflammation decrease at a biological level, but it also helped older adults walk faster and more steadily, thanks to naturally restored joint function. Another single-dose trial study also showed that just 4 Brazil nuts, 400 UG selenium, can help reduce IL-1V and CRP within 6 hours of consumption, demonstrating the remarkable immediate anti-inflammatory effect of this nut. In fact, the FAO-WHO has officially recognized Brazil nuts as the richest natural source of selenium in food and recommends 1 to 2 nuts/day as a safe and effective level for most adults. So how should you eat them correctly? The answer is very simple: 1 to 2 nuts each morning, eaten after breakfast for easier digestion. You can break them into smaller pieces, sprinkle them on vegetable salads, or eat them with vitamin C-rich fruits like strawberries or kiwi to enhance mineral absorption. The rich flavor of Brazil nuts can make them mildly addictive, but it's important not to eat too many. The reason is that selenium, while very beneficial, also has a safety limit. According to the US National Institutes of Health, NIH, the maximum daily intake should not exceed 400 UG of selenium. This means just 3-4 large Brazil nuts per day can exceed that limit. If this situation persists, it can lead to symptoms of selenium excess such as nausea, mild diarrhea, breath odor like raw garlic due to selenium metabolism, brittle hair, hair loss in patches. Additionally, if you are taking a multivitamin that contains selenium, you should carefully check the dosage. If each pill already contains 100-200 UG, then you should only eat 1 Brazil nut day or use them every other day. For individuals with chronic kidney failure or those undergoing treatment for severe kidney diseases, you should consult your doctor beforehand, as excess selenium can accumulate if the kidneys are not filtering well. However, if there are no contraindications, then Brazil nuts are a precious snack like a natural health supplement. No processing needed, no complex measuring, but they can help you walk lighter with less joint pain and gently restore leg function after age 60. And most importantly, it tells us something small but profound. No need to eat a lot. No need to wait until your joints are damaged to fix them. Just a little bit the right way each day, and the effectiveness will come with time. After completing our journey with these 6 types of nuts, from those you have to slowly shell like pistachios, to those that only require one small nut like the Brazil nut, now is the time to look back at the whole picture that you may never have fully assembled. Because while many people still think snacking is a bad habit, you've just discovered the opposite. When chosen correctly, snacks are silent supplements for legs that have started to tire. Each type of nut on this list carries a unique role, not to fill your stomach, but to soothe, support, and repair the areas in your body that have begun to deteriorate. Some soothe the lurking inflammation around joints like walnuts. Some protect the synovial membrane from damage, helping joints move more smoothly like almonds. Some help blood vessels dilate, nourishing the leg area better like pistachios. Some prevent cartilage from wearing down, combating structural aging of joints like pecans. Some strengthen the bone foundation under the cartilage, building tendons and connective tissue like cashews. And some, though small, are rich in selenium, a powerful anti-inflammatory like the Brazil nut. Each small handful, each right choice, can contribute to your legs stepping lighter with less pain, less swelling. That's something no pill can provide without internal support. You might not see results immediately on day 1 or 2, but with consistent use for a few weeks, a handful each day, rotating correctly with the right dosage, then one morning when you step out of bed, you'll realize your ankle joints are no longer stiff and your socks can be put on more easily without a sigh. The power of change doesn't lie in something grand. It lies in a hand that knows to choose the right nuts instead of a snack bar. A refrigerator with a dedicated compartment for walnuts, pistachios, and almonds. And a new mindset, entering your 60s, not to accept joint pain, but to understand your body better and care for it more wisely. And now, I'd like to ask you a small question before ending this video. Among the 6 types of nuts today, which ones have you tried? Is there any type that you're excited to try starting tomorrow? Please share your experiences or questions in the comments section below. Who knows, a simple story from you might be the motivation for someone else struggling with daily joint pain. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our next shares. Goodbye and see you again.